Morning, everyone. Welcome to another daily devotional. This morning we're going to go to the Old Testament and to the book of Proverbs. And in Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 10, we have these very wise words from Solomon. My son, if sinners entice you, do not give in to them. Solomon, of course, is speaking to his son. And these are words that are very much applicable to our young people, our children, and especially children who are in their teenage years. However, the words are not to be understood as being only for those in that particular age group. They're applicable to all of us. Having said that, if you're a parent listening to this particular daily devotional, do take this to heart in relation to your sons and your daughters and remind them of this verse, because they will be enticed. And you and I will be enticed to sin. The thing about this particular advice that is given by Solomon is that it recognizes that we are going to be tempted by other people if sinners entice you. All of us, I'm sure, have friends, people with whom we associate, who are not Christians. And even though they may not realize the seriousness of what they're doing, they can so easily entice us to sin. Our children can be enticed to sin. And that's, of course, what many of us often are concerned about. They go to school, they mix with all sorts of children there too, and there are those who would love to see them doing what they do, whether it's smoking, doing drugs, taking alcohol, swearing, being rude to teachers, or whatever. And our children are exposed to these temptations. And the thing about enticement is that it is presented as being something that is good and exciting and something that you would want to do. And very often, because of the sin that is in us, there is something in us that is attracted to sinful behaviour. For those of us who are older, we can be enticed to sin. How many relationships, how many marriages have been damaged? How many marriages have been destroyed as a result of one of the partners, one of the two, the husband or the wife, being enticed into sin with some other person? Another man makes favourable comments to a wife. He treats her very respectfully. He is much nicer to her than her husband. He commends her on her attractiveness. And before long, the danger is there. Similarly, for a man, his wife perhaps he thinks doesn't understand him. He doesn't find any great satisfaction in his wife any longer. And he's enticed by the attention that is given to him by another woman. There's enticements of all kinds of sin. Brethren, for our children and for us, if sinners entice you, do not give in to them. Ultimately, you will not be tested or tempted beyond what you are able to endure. God will give you, as he says in another passage of scripture in the New Testament, a way out. So recognize when you're being enticed, recognize by whom you're being enticed, and do not give in. Whenever I used to go fishing, we used to have flies, we used to have spinners, and you would have thrown the fly out or thrown the spinner out, and you'd have reeled the spinner in, and it was attractive to the fish, and the fish would have jumped at it and caught it because it thought it was a lovely, enticing piece of food. But sadly, the hook was under the bait, and it was to the destruction of the fish. If sinners entice you, do not give in to them. Whatever the enticement is, it is not worth dishonouring God for. So, brethren, let's take this warning and let's take to heart the words of Solomon. And let's remind our children of it also. My son, if sinners entice you, do not give in to them. May God help us in these things. Have a good day, folks.